The story ignites as the final tower floor loading screen fades in. Powerful mythical beasts clash with divine warriors in a fiery blaze. An armored player looms over fallen enemies, breath heavy with fatigue. God Jinwoo claims top rank in Battle of Summoners. Rivals gape at his epic records and free-to-play prowess. Baekxian pings for lower floor help. Jinwoo tunes him out, glued to his gold mountain. He's quitting games forever post this win. 10 years wrecked his life and stressed his parents. A deadly purple beam whizzes past his head. He locks in focus to end his saga. Divine winged archers ready glowing energy arrows. Jinwoo yells to unleash his summon window. Inventory packs, rare powerhouse cards. He fires ultimate skill. Massive white whale rises. Angels unleash hell on the summoner. Jinwoo holds as water magic swirls protective. Ice spikes erupt, clashing divine shots. Top player grits teeth under pressure crush. Shock waves hurl angels back in fury. Guardians pause, eyeing the tough human. Light bursts violently signaling battlequake. Jinwoo directs floating white whale to smash foes. Determination burns in eyes framed by water glow. Notification jars him mid-boss grind. Ferocious red dragon roars, priming kill shot. Searing flame breath blasts the hero. Resolve sparks in Jinwoo's gaze through heat. He summons legendary blue dragon countering fire. Water torrents explode from dragon jaws. Elements smash in steaming chaos. Jinwoo watches boss crumble at last. Massive blast ends the trial grind. Phone flares. Floor 100 cleared triumphant. Jinwoo roars joy on bustling street. Bystanders mutter at the madman. God Jinwoo savors final win before retirement. He preps post for veteran crew. Air shifts. Crowd stares skyward. Blue glow swallows city towers. Game clear blazes across heaven's miracle. Chilling alert ends secret beta. Jinwoo sees game invading real world. Crimson scrolls rain on panicked throng. Global system. Tear summoning scrolls now. Students buzz calling it promo hype. Youth grips red paper to rip. Jinwoo shouts desperate for halt. Scroll tears before he stops it. Flames erupt. Real tutorial launches. A system prompt echoes ominously, declaring the birth of a brand new world. Terror grips the young man as the environment twists into nightmare. Deadly monsters and stone golems swarm the helpless modern city. Massive red-skinned orcs rampage through streets with savage roars. Jinwoo stands frozen, paralyzed, as his familiar world crumbles into chaos. The brutal truth of the game tutorial crashes into his mind. Innocent civilians scream in agony amid rising smoke and roaring flames. A vicious truck slams into a man, leaving him shattered in the crosswalk. Blood pools around Jinwoo as he lies dying on the cold pavement. Life fades fast while the world burns around his broken body. He curses the game, clutching the glowing marks on his hand. His shattered phone flashes the notification. The world has forever changed. Days later, grieving parents watch over his unconscious form in the hospital. A sudden twitch of his fingers signals his miraculous return. His mother gasps in disbelief as he finally stirs. She drops her knife, frantically calling for the doctor. Jinwoo opens his eyes to a reality warped by fantasy. His parents weep with overwhelming joy at his awakening. The news he hears shatters him completely. His father's pebble golem waves cheerfully from the doorway. He realizes the game turning real was no dream. World Rank 1. Rachel addresses the panicked public about the tower's deadly trials. Jinwoo uncovers his secret identity as the legendary Jinwoo. The five emperors hunt relentlessly for the missing South Korean god. D's elite rankers await the one to reshape everything. Jinwoo wakes in the hospital, fueled to conquer this new era. A system window pops up, tempting him with the tutorial start. Worried parents urge rest, but his resolve burns fierce. He smiles knowingly, his past edge sharpening his path. Discharged, he heads home to probe the altered world. He searches God Jinwoo, the legend every hunter craves. Dungeons and monsters now weave into daily existence. 3 years on, humans wield summons as everyday allies. Jinwoo stays utterly confident, his skills towering over all. He finally clicks yes, launching the official tutorial. The system seals his choice as the ordeal ignites. In a quiet park, he tests his first summoning scrolls. 2 low-grade red scrolls gleam as tutorial prizes. They mark his bold step to reclaim lost glory. Baek Jinwoo frets a trash summon could doom his run. Notorious drop rates mock hopes for high-rank beasts. He prays desperately for anything remotely useful. Eyes narrowing with iron focus, he grips the scroll. He tears the first one, whispering for a miracle. He watches transfixed as magic surges to life. Pausing, he ponders the enigma of these summoned souls. Blue lightning erupts violently from the fragments. Jinwoo reels back from the explosive power. The system blares a result to stun the world. A tiny wind fairy materializes, the legendary EX rank summon. The protagonist stares in disbelief at the impossible EX rank status. The tiny fairy wakes slowly, rubbing her large, curious eyes. She reacts with intense shock upon realizing she's been summoned. The fairy flies frantic circles around him while he wonders how she speaks. He watches her closely, still processing this legendary encounter. He asks if she is Ramba, but she claims her true species name. She pauses, suddenly wondering if this human is actually her master. Her eyes widen as she realizes he is indeed God Jinwoo. The crying fairy lunges at his face, weeping from sheer joy. He recalls her as the former E-rank summon from his past. She was a secret powerhouse known for massive attack speed boosts. He remembers their long journey and the nickname he gave her. He wonders why a deleted summon has suddenly returned to him. Developers removed her long ago because she broke the game's balance. Her profile now lists her as an isolated EX rank entity. The word isolated leaves him feeling deeply confused and concerned. She begs him to never leave her after being trapped alone. He playfully pokes her cheek to confirm she is truly real. Jinwoo asks who was responsible for trapping her in that void. She struggles to answer, seemingly forgetting the details of her confinement. A sudden, sharp headache stops her from revealing any more information. She suspects a powerful restriction was placed upon her ancient memories. He urges her to share anything she can still clearly remember. She reveals that many other powerful summons were also isolated. The existence of more trapped summons hints at a much larger mystery. Jinwoo realizes 10 distinct summons may be trapped within the system's errors. The shocking truth behind the bug classifications leaves the young man stunned. These powerful beings were isolated after being wrongly labeled as game glitches. Ramba explains that tearing scrolls gives these EX rank spirits another chance. Jinwoo tests the theory by discarding his common low-grade summoning items. He prepares himself to face the unpredictable results of the next summon. A blue low-grade scroll is torn as light erupts from his hands. Instead of a legend, a massive F-rank hairy gorilla suddenly appears. The disappointing results prove that the EX rank drop rate is entirely random. Jinwoo ponders how to manipulate the RNG to recover his lost allies. Ramba remains cheerful, despite the gorilla's low rank and goofy appearance. Jinwoo asks the small fairy to stop using his divine title immediately. His previous reputation among the 5 emperors makes his real name dangerous. A 3-year gap in world knowledge creates a massive tactical disadvantage. He knows he must adapt quickly to survive this new, harsher reality. Distant birds scatter as a sudden, heavy tremor shakes the entire area. Jinwoo stands guard as the ground beneath them begins to rupture violently. Even the massive gorilla screams as the world shifts around them. The system forces a sudden progression to the next stage of training. A basic tutorial dungeon portal manifests in the middle of the park. Despite his past experience, Jinwoo feels a wave of genuine hesitation. The roaring energy of the portal proves reality is no mere game. Fear grips him, but he remembers this is only the tutorial level. Steeling his resolve, he stares into the glowing heart of the dungeon. Jinwoo enters the dark, damp cave to face his first true challenge. A system message confirms Bayek Jinwoo has entered the beginner dungeon. Jinwoo gulps nervously, realizing his trial is finally starting now. Rare monster cards like ice golems and gargoyles typically dominate battles. The system explains that teams must be formed using powerful summons. A maximum of 5 summons can join a player's team. Normally, a player would fill all 5 slots to ensure victory. Jinwoo recalls his long nights of careful planning at his desk. His focused eyes reveal a deep determination to succeed this time. With a steady hand, he selects the option to deploy summons. The Wind Fairy and Hairy Gorilla appear with an energetic roar. Jinwoo scans the dark tutorial dungeon for any approaching enemy threats. A sudden, menacing growl from the darkness catches him off guard. The system warns that a starving gray wolf is prowling nearby. His objective is to defeat the wolf and escape the cave. He realizes his opponent is only a weak F-rank gray wolf. A bright golden energy begins to swirl around Jinwoo's feet. A powerful protective shield activates to keep the player safe. Jinwoo is relieved that the boss's player protection system works perfectly. A warning reminds him that death here means death in reality. He knows failure will lead to more than a simple game over. The vicious wolf emerges from the shadows with glowing red eyes. Jinwoo commands his hairy gorilla to charge and attack the beast. To his horror, the F-rank gorilla moves at a snail's pace. Jinwoo freezes in shock at his summon's incredibly pathetic speed. The EX-grade Wind Fairy prepares her magic to save the day. She spins her staff to channel energy for her loyal ally. Ramba stands ready as swirling emerald winds envelop his massive body. The gorilla's eyes glow with a fierce and primal battle spirit. With a mighty roar, Ramba lunges toward the terrifying beast ahead. The summoner watches with confidence, trusting in Ramba's overwhelming strength. A giant red wolf growls, its presence filling the dark cave. The hunter realizes the monster is much larger than he expected. He worries if his companion can withstand such a ferocious foe. Both monsters charge across the room at a frighteningly high speed. They collide with a violent force that shakes the very earth. Sharp claws draw blood as the brutal close-quarter struggle begins. The sound of tearing flesh echoes throughout the silent stone cavern. The red wolf bites down hard, wounding Ramba during the clash. Ramba is pinned to the ground by the wolf's immense weight. Distraught, the young summoner shouts out his loyal friend's name. The Wind Fairy swings her staff, desperate to assist her comrade. Green energy surges into Ramba's fist for a magic-infused counterattack. Ramba delivers a devastating uppercut that sends the wolf flying upward. The giant beast is knocked back by the pure, concentrated force. The fairy prepares to finish the fight with one final strike. A massive magic circle glows brightly beneath her tiny, floating feet. Propelled by the wind, Ramba soars high into the air again. He slams into the wolf, crushing it against the hard ground. A rapid flurry of wind-enhanced punches rains down on the monster. A final shockwave erupts, signaling the end of the fierce encounter. Jinwoo and his small fairy summon gasp as the dust settles. The massive gray wolf lies defeated upon the cracked cavern floor. A miniature gorilla summon roars triumphantly, beating its muscular chest loudly. The tiny fairy cheers wildly on Jinwoo's shoulder for their victory. A blue screen confirms the dungeon clear and grants strength runes. Sunlight fades behind the towering structures of the modern city skyline. A hand clutches a thick stack of one from successful hunting. Baek Ajin beams with joy while holding her hard-earned daily profits. Jinwoo's younger sister, Ajin, supports the family through her own efforts. She spends her days farming runes to sell for steady income. Her player journey began following her brother's unfortunate hospital accident. While walking home, Ajin reaches into her bag for her phone. A call from her brother Jinwoo illuminates the glowing smartphone screen. She answers quickly, asking if he has finally left the hospital. Jinwoo teases her about being a rune hawker, sparking her annoyance. Ajin angrily insists on being called a professional rune farming player. Jinwoo asks for directions to the nearest summon synthesis shop instead. She explains that these specialized facilities only exist within player zones. Towers emerged globally, centralizing all essential hunter and player businesses. Ajin details the specific tower locations while relaxing at a cafe. The siblings meet for coffee to discuss the current player landscape. Jinwoo considers the logistics of visiting the player zones for upgrades. Curious about his progress, Ajin asks for his new summon's rank. She is thrilled when Jinwoo lies about obtaining a lucky E rank. Jinwoo smiles secretly, hiding the overwhelming truth of his EX grade summon. Jinwoo works a part-time shift while planning his next system move. He promises his sister some pocket money after their cafe meeting. Jinwoo confidently claims he will soon become the world's best player. His sister mentions elite legends like Rachel and Xenos are unbeatable. Jinwoo grins, knowing his potential far exceeds these so-called geniuses. He stands up and asks his sister to show him around. His mysterious smile suggests he has a massive secret up his sleeve. A massive, glowing tower looms over the city skyline at night. The siblings head out into the busy streets under the tower's glow. Walking by the lake, Jinwoo lies about summoning a weak wind fairy. His sister remains puzzled since she has never heard of that summon. She calls him a cheapskate for refusing to show her the fairy. Jinwoo makes a deal to see her summon before revealing his own. His sister excitedly prepares to reveal her powerful partner with confidence. Jinwoo watches closely, wondering what kind of summon she actually possesses. A C-rank shadow elf emerges from a swirl of purple energy. Jinwoo is unimpressed, as C-ranks were only used for experience points. His sister snaps at his lack of interest in her noble tier. Jinwoo reflects on how weak C-rank summons were in the game. He wonders if the shadow elf is capable of speaking his language. His sister watches in annoyance as Jinwoo tries to greet her. She angrily explains that summons are never able to speak human words. Jinwoo is stunned to realize his unique summon is a rare exception. He remembers Ramba crying and screaming during their very first encounter. The truth hits him that only his EX grade summon has a voice. He realizes Ramba is a unique case among all humanoid summons. His companion eagerly asks to see his powerful new summon. He refuses to show her, dodging unwanted attention right now. Jinwoo tells her to stop complaining and guide him forward. The bustling, neon-lit city stuns him with its vibrant chaos. Creatures and hunters swarm the streets of this alien world. She explains how the Tower of Trials obliterated a local landmark. The girl notes nobody dares visit such haunted ruins. Jinwoo counters that the danger makes it thrilling. Dungeons now infest the forsaken amusement park. Seeing game realms bleed into reality feels utterly surreal. They weave through a district of glowing marketplace stalls. Jinwoo spots the trade zone for scroll exchanges. Memories surge of cracking pricey scrolls with a rich friend. She reminds him he's still just a raw beginner. Jinwoo listens quietly to her tips on the basics. He brushes it off, insisting he needs no lessons. The girl frets over his reckless leveling plans. Jinwoo sends her home, craving solo exploration. He waves her off, vanishing into the shadows. She senses he's changed into someone bolder. He flashes a reassuring smile before she leaves. Empty factory corridors echo with eerie silence. He sweeps the perimeter, confirming no prying eyes. Shimmering wings flare as his secret summon emerges. The tiny, energetic fairy beams with joyful energy. Panicked, Jinwoo clamps her mouth to hush her. He ducks into shadows, heart pounding, unseen. Jinwoo glares gravely at the bubbly creature. He warns Ramba strictly, speak only in dungeons. After a heavy sigh, he tallies dungeon costs. His phone reveals a pitiful bank balance. The screen mocks him with near zero funds. Time and cash drain away in harsh reality. Despair crashes as finances choke his dreams. He recalls mom's endless shifts for the family. Dad slaved through brutal labor just to survive. Their sacrifices twist guilt deep in his chest. Jinwoo swears never to burden them again. He summons memories of his F2P legend days. Against pay-to-win odds, he claimed the top alone. Eyes sharpen with fierce, reborn resolve. A ping reveals a shock deposit. 500,000. Stunned, he puzzles over the mystery source. Mom's loving message floods the screen with warmth. Overwhelmed, Jinwoo fights back burning tears. He envisions her coma-side vigils, unwavering. Her hands gripped his through endless dark nights. He vows victory, so she suffers no more. He watches the chaos unfold, eyes sharp, mind already calculating every movement. Debris scatters violently as the structure groans and begins collapsing around them. A monstrous fire butterfly unleashes relentless waves of scorching flames without pause. Another explosion tears through the floor, shaking everything with brutal force. From the smoke, a massive red-skinned blood orc slowly steps forward. The summoner laughs loudly, mocking the weak resistance standing before him. Park grits his teeth, struggling to endure the crushing pressure closing in. Gripping the desk tightly, the boy senses the situation turning dangerously unstable. He exhales softly, clearly unimpressed by both fighters' lack of refined skill. From his hiding spot, he studies the flow, already predicting possible outcomes. He knows criminals like these would never spare innocent lives nearby. The orc's halberd glints coldly beneath the flickering, unstable lighting. With a roar, it swings down, aiming for a clean, lethal strike. Park's instincts scream danger as he feels death closing in rapidly. Then suddenly, the boy steps out, breaking the flow with calm authority. He points out the fire turtle's timing is completely misaligned right now. He tells Park to observe the small support units behind the orc. Tiny, winged creatures are constantly reinforcing it with fire resistance buffs. As long as they remain, fire attacks will never deal proper damage. Park freezes, shocked a mere boy could analyze such complex mechanics instantly. A towering treant rises, ready to clash head-on against the raging orc. The blood orc narrows its gaze, sensing the sudden shift in momentum. Trusting the advice, Park commands the fire turtle once again. A massive pillar of fire erupts, striking clean with precise destructive force. The hit lands perfectly, and Park shouts in raw, relieved triumph. The criminal staggers, stunned, demanding to know how that was possible. A crushing wooden strike follows, destroying everything caught in its path. The relentless pressure overwhelms the enemy, leaving him completely shaken and exposed. Flames surge again, a torrent of fire crashing down without mercy. A violent explosion consumes the battlefield in a blinding inferno. As dust settles slowly, silence spreads, filled with heavy disbelief. Park stands tall above his fallen enemy, shield flickering weakly around him. The defeated thug begs desperately, offering surrender in a trembling voice. Park's expression stays cold, unmoved by those hollow pleas for mercy. Thick vines tighten, binding the man completely without escape. Lifted into the air, he dangles helplessly, completely stripped of control. Terror fills his eyes as reality sets in, his end unavoidable now. Park snaps his fingers, calmly declaring execution without hesitation. With a brutal crunch, the roots end everything in an instant. The remaining witnesses stand frozen, unable to process the scene before them. Then slowly, relieved voices rise, praising Park's decisive victory. Amid the cheers, the boy watches quietly, something heavy settling inside him. Smiles spread across faces, celebrating a life just taken moments ago. He finds it unsettling how easily people accept death as justice. His eyes remain fixed, absorbing the harsh truth of this world. Park approaches him, gaze steady, clearly recognizing his earlier intervention. He introduces himself formally as an examiner from player headquarters. Park expresses genuine gratitude for the critical support during the battle. He offers a reward, asking which guild the young man belongs to. Park is visibly shocked that someone like him remains completely unregistered. Jinwoo calmly hands over his ID, ending the formal exchange cleanly. Park assures him a reward will follow after a background verification process. Jinwoo leaves with a light farewell, tone calm and controlled. Park stays behind, eyes locked on the boy's departing figure. He quickly pulls out his phone, urgency building within him. Park contacts his associate, sharing the information he just obtained. He confirms the name Baek Jinwoo with a serious tone. Jinwoo walks through the busy streets, Ramba quietly beside him. The sun shines brightly, casting light over the active urban city. He offers her soft cream bread, a simple but thoughtful gift. Ramba lights up instantly, pure joy reflected across her tiny face. Jinwoo realizes she is surprisingly easy to satisfy with small things. Even a simple snack is enough to calm any situation instantly. Still, his mind drifts back to the chaos inside the dungeon. He remembers the terrifying red orc that nearly caused total destruction. Only the treant stood firm, barely holding the situation together. Sitting on a bench, he reflects on how much the world has changed. Jinwoo decides clearly he must start hunting to grow stronger now. His next goal is to summon a trainer and a dragon mage. Low-grade scrolls should be enough to secure these necessary allies. Ramba lies full and exhausted after devouring her oversized snack. Jinwoo suddenly stands, catching the small fairy completely off guard. A confident smirk forms as he locks on to his next objective. Elsewhere, Park shouts into the phone, unable to hide his shock. He learns Jinwoo spent 3 years hospitalized after a severe accident. That explains why someone so skilled remained completely unregistered until now. The world changed drastically during those missing 3 years. An official reacts in shock upon seeing Jinwoo's sudden registration data. He reviews the application, confirming every detail of his identity carefully. The situation feels unreal, almost impossible to fully accept. He waves others away, hiding the excitement rising within him. He asks about the examiner assigned for this month's evaluation process. The call ends, but his thoughts continue racing with possibilities. He realizes Jinwoo may possess talent far beyond normal expectations. Meanwhile, applicants gather in large numbers at the testing center. Footsteps echo as the training session officially begins for everyone. Jinwoo enters quietly, Ramba hidden, observing everything with calm focus. From above, the massive crowd reveals just how intense competition will be. Hundreds fill the hall, each hoping to become a registered player. Jinwoo studies them carefully, noting their weak and basic summons. Confidence builds, knowing he understands the system far better. Heavy steps announce the arrival of the lead examiner on stage. Jinwoo lifts his gaze, realizing the real test is about to start. His focus sharpens, locking onto the man standing at the podium. The bearded official stands firm, ready to begin the evaluation. The scene shifts suddenly to a private room for discussion. Jinwoo sits across the examiner, posture calm, expression unreadable. The man explains the requirements needed to pass the written test. Jinwoo listens quietly while his fairy sleeps peacefully on his head. Completely unfazed, the small fairy ignores everything, lost in deep sleep. Jinwoo watches the instructor teach a combo he invented years ago, long past. Though slightly annoyed, he smiles, reflecting on the lecture-familiar tone. The instructor pulls Jinwoo aside, discussing promised reward offer, detailed private. A serious atmosphere fills the room as the probing question drops heavy air. The man asks if Jinwoo was once a dedicated game player veteran. Jinwoo looks confused by sudden past hobby inquiry. Unexpected twist. Anyone, mobile game played, legend. Gamer status claims elite. Most top Korean rankers. Battle of Summoners origins hail strong. Jinwoo admits playing total time asked probe. Tense, follow. Fearing discovery knows 10 years reveal. Secret expose, full risk. He lies, claiming played only 1 year, safe cover low. Why? The instructor reacts in tense shock, grabbing Jinwoo's hands firm grip. Jinwoo realizes underestimated experience value. Massive. Now, clock clear. Playing dead game year miracle status rare gem shine. Most rankers barely tolerate game few months. Grind short. The man prepares, offered Jinwoo prestigious opportunity door. Huge open. He offers authority use, immediate player registration. Fast track. Smooth. First option includes guaranteed job headquarters. Secure path solid. A second much simpler option presented. Jinwoo consider easy alt. The alternative reward. Modest 5 million won cash prize, neat. Instructor confidently assumes Jinwoo chooses career path logical pick. Logical. Without hesitation, Jinwoo chooses cash over job offer. Quick snap. Stunned choice man barely processes response, shock wide eyes. Jinwoo insists, handling own registration, avoiding job commitment firm stand, carrying gear heavy. Jinwoo preps, enter new dimensional portal step. He confirms identity before practical entrance exam starting real deal. The examiner explains test dungeon time attack rules lay clear. He stands portal before ready face trial ahead. Bold stance. Watching closely, recruiter regrets Jinwoo scout offer declined, bitter miss. The recruiter realizes underestimated young applicant hidden worth, deep true. Documents reveal Jinwoo possesses deep, ancient magical runes, understanding pro level. Overwhelmed professors weep. Jinwoo's incredible rare magical talent display emotional. They believe he reaches highest rankings levels, potential unlimited climb. Bitter regret man wishes offered much better terms, earlier slip. The guide concludes. Briefing tells enter. Now, command sharp, direct. Jinwoo takes bold step, swirling blue energy gate dive confident. He asks summons ready begin, team check morale high. A golden light envelops group teleport inside dungeon flash bright. System alerts. Warren room full toxic slimes. Danger swarm. His fairy summon excitedly prepares. Stack powerful magical buffs boost. The gorilla summon roars, surging incredible green energy power. Wild. This specific dungeon designed massive, complex maze challenge twist deep. Challengers navigate winding paths. Find final boss hunt. Core tense. Running out time means immediate failure. Aspiring hunter doom instant. Jinwoo wears confident smirk, completely unfazed. Ticking clock pressure. Cool. He instructs. Team ignore slow slimes, advance forward, push smart. He quickly identifies correct path leading toward exit route key. Rushing shortcut. They head directly boss room cut fast pro. Red system warnings announce massive boss monster arrival. Boom alert. Jinwoo smiles. Dangerously. Ready unleash true EX grade power hidden ace. Jinwoo faces towering giant slime boss confidence unshaken core. He commands gorilla summon launch. Fierce direct assault charge. Bold. The massive beast leaps high, crushing slime beneath impact slam. Devastating blow splits. Ground-wide gorilla slams down quake. It unleashes relentless barrage strikes. Helpless monster pound savage. Jinwoo realizes fairy speed boost makes any summon lethal killer edge. He smiles, thinking, pairing power others combo, epic potential. Screen pops declaring giant boss defeated, completely clear victory. Jinwoo notes clear time slower, past life benchmark, personal. The system congratulates setting new South Korean record proud announce. Special achievement notification surprises young summoner, unexpected bonus hit. He earns 3 high-grade summoning scrolls. Performance incredible today. Reward. Additional rewards arrive. Blue system windows gaze. Bonus stack. Guild employees. Shock. Dungeon records. Sudden change. Alert flash. They stare screens. Total disbelief. Speed. Unreal lock eyes. Staff members wonder. Famous pro. Set insane record guest buzz. Fake Jinwoo profile pops. Unranked player. Unknown shock reveal. Nobody guild office heard name ever. 0 fame total. They realize unknown player snag #1 spot steal. Clean. High-level executives gather. Analyze mystery record holder data deep dive. Boardroom fills tension. Jinwoo massive potential discuss. Heat rise. Female official finds Jinwoo sudden rise truly amazing feat star. Bearded man grins, realizing boy talent real deal confirmed nod. He concludes, Bayek Jinwoo clearly real deal talent slam verdict. He slams table ordering team secure immediately. Urgent command. Association president demands Bayek Jinwoo registration. No match. Skip fast. He explains massive gap. Domestic global time attack rankings. Wide chasm. Kang Gaeon-ho holds top Korean record 6 minutes current king. Meanwhile, Rachel dominates world 2-minute speed queen reign. These rankings define global player market power dynamics. Sharp edge. Jinwoo shattered national record testing. Pointless. Completely null effort. President believes elite talent special treatment privilege direct grant. Outside high-rise headquarters, Jinwoo wanders streets unaware chill vibe. He finds current national record weak. His level, surprisingly low bar. Suddenly, association boss spots, shouts. Name, loud, street call. Bearded man waves frantically desperate. Greet legendary rookie sprint. Jinwoo watches horror eccentric official sprints toward fast chase. Outbreath man praises incredible dungeon clear time hype wild. Jinwoo feels awkward. Commended. Simple task basic. Odd spotlight. Without warning, official hands brand new player license gold drop. Jinwoo stares card. Officially elite player registered confirm elite. This license proves nothing left. Prove anyone's status locked. Official leans close expression. Serious. Curious probe intent. He asks how Jinwoo navigated complex Tuesday maze master skill. Jinwoo breaks cold sweat secret weight. Heavy. Realize. Tense. He contemplates revealing deep knowledge consequences. Massive fallout. Sharing secrets skyrockets. South Korea ranking instant boom national. He weighs potential wealth versus forceful interrogation risk balance scale. Jinwoo takes deep breath. Deflect, prying official plan. Smart. The rookie firmly warns intrusive questions. Rude boundary cross stern. Gamer strategies are private and highly sensitive information for them. The examiner pleads for understanding due to Korea's desperation for talent. Jinwoo considers the man and thinks he doesn't seem malicious. He paid promptly and possesses a decent personality and quick wit. Jinwoo ponders using the government to accelerate his growth potential. Jinwoo addresses the examiner. and the man responds with nervous anticipation. The scene shifts as they enter a quiet, modern coffee shop. The examiner bows his head and desperately asks Jinwoo for help. He explains that his headquarters requires Jinwoo's vast knowledge. Jinwoo is annoyed that they performed a background check on him. The examiner apologizes, citing safety concerns regarding unregistered high-skilled players. Jinwoo demands that the investigation stop now that he is registered. The official is shocked that Jinwoo isn't intimidated by the government. Jinwoo calmly sips his coffee, fully aware of his own value. He wonders what benefits he will gain by assisting the government. The examiner offers his personal cooperation as a high-ranking official. Confused, Jinwoo questions what exactly cooperation from the man entails. The man proudly states he holds a very high leadership position. He explains that good performance helps him gain votes and rank. Jinwoo realizes the man is essentially a politician seeking more power. The examiner clenches his fists, promising support within his authority. Jinwoo finds the offer a bit underwhelming, and the compensation vague. He taps the table and decides to propose a new arrangement. Jinwoo suggests a trial period of exactly 1 month for growth. If unsatisfied, Jinwoo will return the value of the support received. The examiner realizes Jinwoo wants him as an assistant for a month. Though brazen, he accepts the deal to stay close to Jinwoo. They shake hands to finalize their secret agreement in the cafe. Jinwoo mentions he has one more important thing to discuss. He requests that his record-breaking time remains a complete secret. Jinwoo explains that he is currently worried about his personal safety. The examiner's shock grows as Jinwoo rejects protection from the headquarters. Jinwoo doubts that headquarters can properly protect its talented players. Clenching his fist, the examiner acknowledges Jinwoo's valid concerns. He promises to contain the information as much as possible. With the deal done, Jinwoo prepares to take his leave. He walks away while focusing on his phone's glowing screen. Jinwoo is glad he successfully convinced the examiner to stay quiet. Now it is finally time to inspect his dungeon clear rewards. He is amazed by the high-grade scrolls sitting in his inventory. These first-time clear achievements truly offer insane rewards for players. Jinwoo wonders if he should sell the scrolls instead of gambling. He stares intensely at the valuable items within his digital inventory. He opens the player web app to check current item prices. The examiner's recommendation proves useful for navigating the trading site. Jinwoo quickly navigates through the menu to find the market values. He waits for the screen to display the scroll's current price. His eyes widen in total disbelief at the listed market price. A single high-grade scroll is worth a staggering 3 million won. Jinwoo realizes he earned 9 million won in only 5 minutes. He imagines his power steadily growing as his stats continue to stack up. Jinwoo vows to give his family a life free from financial hardship. He decides to sell high-grade scrolls and invest in low-grade ones instead. The surprisingly high market price of low-grade scrolls catches his attention. He questions why common scrolls cost 5,000 won despite their abundance. To understand the situation, Jinwoo decides to make a quick phone call. He waits patiently for his sister to pick up and share her insight. Jin answers and immediately asks what is going on. Jinwoo turns to her expertise to better understand the market. She explains that headquarters is buying up large quantities of low-grade scrolls. Jinwoo wonders why tax money would be used on such seemingly useless items. Jin clarifies that they purchase a fixed amount daily to support rankers. This policy encourages sellers to hold on to their stock and drive prices higher. However, she warns that this system may not last much longer. Jinwoo realizes headquarters must be sitting on a massive surplus. A clever idea begins forming in his mind as he ends the call. Jinwoo heads to a prestigious office to meet an important contact. The man greets Baek Jinwoo with a bright and welcoming smile. He jokingly asks if Jinwoo has come because he missed him. His tone shifts as he asks the real reason for this sudden visit. Jinwoo explains that he wants to acquire as many low-grade scrolls as possible. The official is shocked that Jinwoo prefers low-grade over high-grade items. He mentions that they already collect 50,000 scrolls every single day. He warns that reselling them would be difficult due to market saturation. The man senses there is a deeper strategy behind Jinwoo's request. He recognizes that Baek Jinwoo thinks differently from other players. He agrees to cooperate, but only under one condition. He demands a sample of useful information before proceeding further. Misusing tax-funded resources could cost him the trust of the public. In exchange, he offers low-grade scrolls as compensation for valuable knowledge. Jinwoo smiles, understanding that a fair trade is required. He prefers this deal since good information brings better rewards. Jinwoo begins explaining a method called achievement time shaving. He describes how clearing dungeons faster yields better rewards. New benefits become available each time a record is broken. Players can maximize gains by taking turns breaking records incrementally. This approach could significantly increase the nation's overall strength. The man realizes his organization has used similar strategies before. Jinwoo points out that many weaker players still need these opportunities. He offers to reveal the optimal strategy for Tuesday's dungeon. The man claps excitedly as he recognizes the potential value. He eagerly asks if Jinwoo used used this exact method himself. Jinwoo confirms that a 3-minute clear is achievable for anyone. The official is left stunned by what seems like an impossible claim. Jinwoo stops him and shifts the conversation toward negotiation. He asks for 50 high-grade scrolls as part of the deal. The man reacts with shock at the steep price being requested. Jinwoo argues that the strategy applies to top-tier dungeons worth billions. After a moment of hesitation, the man agrees to the terms. He promises to supply 10,000 low-grade scrolls daily. The sun sets slowly as students gather for a strange evening assembly. Hunters exchange confused glances, unsure why they were called after hours. Examiner Park Chang-seok steps forward, announcing a test with serious implications. The mood shifts instantly. This is no ordinary training session tonight. Park reveals Baek Jinwoo recently shattered the Tuesday dungeon record completely. He claims to bring a powerful strategy learned from foreign sources. The hunters finally understand why everything was kept strictly confidential. A confident smirk forms as Park prepares to unveil his method. He declares they will attempt time attacks starting right now. A small blue lizard suddenly appears before the gathered group. The hunters stare, shocked by the appearance of a spotted Komodo. Text explains, the creature stands as large as a grown adult. Despite its B rank, it holds unusual potential waiting to be unlocked. One student scoffs, calling it a failed summon with poor growth. In truth, the creature excels at hunting and devouring giant slimes. Night deepens as the secret training begins under silent pressure. New rankings update rapidly, showing records being shattered across the board. The hunters reach the boss room faster than they ever imagined. Cheers erupt as they lift the small lizard in triumph. Days pass, and news of these records spreads across the nation. Headlines praise Park Chang-seok for Korea's sudden rise in rankings. Media outlets highlight the country's explosive potential for future growth. Park realizes Jinwoo's value surpasses that of any normal player. He decides to build a team solely dedicated to supporting him. Reviewing profiles, Park carefully shapes his long-term hidden strategy. He selects 3 candidates based on strong and promising backgrounds. These chosen individuals will quietly support his larger hidden objective. Under calm daylight, the park remains peaceful and undisturbed. Jinwoo stares at his phone, stunned by his massive balance. He questions whether earning millions could really be this simple. Without delay, he prepares his stockpile of summoning scrolls. 10,000 low-grade scrolls wait inside his inventory system. Somewhere unseen, a mysterious man smiles, satisfied with unfolding events. Jinwoo opens water, preparing himself mentally for the long ritual. Ramba watches closely, asking if he is finally ready now. He pours water onto the ground, offering it with quiet focus. Ramba prays sincerely, hoping for a powerful ally to appear. Jinwoo grips a glowing scroll, steadying his breath carefully. Then, he tears it open, beginning the exhausting summoning process. Hours pass, leaving him surrounded by piles of useless creatures. Over 3,000 scrolls produce nothing but weak, disappointing summons. Ramba gently pokes his cheek, pulling him from deep frustration. She explains, EX rank summons never appear through simple repetition. His first success, she says, was nothing but pure luck. Jinwoo listens, confused, trying to understand the deeper system rules. Ramba questions whether he truly understands how everything functions. She explains rarity by comparing summons to the human population scale. Jinwoo listens seriously, absorbing every detail she carefully shares. Ramba reveals they carry a rare, isolated classification within the system. Jinwoo freezes as she admits even she does not know why. Ramba reveals only Jinwoo can summon rare, isolated EX rank beings like her. Jinwoo freezes, staring blankly at the absurd probability behind that statement. Even winning consecutive lotteries feels easier than reaching such impossible odds. Ramba gently tries to comfort him as he sinks deeper into despair. She explains, summons will not return unless he willingly sells them first. Even with that explanation, the scale of effort still overwhelms him. Jinwoo considers switching strategies, thinking mid-grade scrolls might offer better chances. However, scarcity and extreme pricing make those scrolls nearly impossible to gather. He exhales slowly, then steadies himself to continue the exhausting grind. Another blue scroll tears open as he silently prays for a miracle. Ramba cheers loudly, trying to keep his spirit from collapsing completely. The sun begins to set again while his endless summoning continues. Completely drained, Jinwoo falls onto his bed as Ramba asks for cream bread. In just 2 weeks, he has burned through 140,000 scrolls. The brutal routine leaves his body and mind completely exhausted. To stay efficient, he moves closer to the player's own facilities. After resting briefly, he prepares himself to head out once again. Ramba wakes energetically, immediately demanding her long-promised cream bread. Together, they arrive at a massive building now converted into a shop. The old hotel lobby is filled with players waiting for synthesis services. Jinwoo recalls when this place was known for its luxury buffet. He approaches a kiosk and registers himself into the long queue. His number shows 125, forcing him to wait patiently. Ramba quietly reminds him to stay careful during the synthesis process. Eventually, their number appears on the glowing status board above. Jinwoo steps forward and enters the synthesis platform without hesitation. Ramba flutters excitedly, eager to grow stronger through this process. Jinwoo stares at the blue interface, calm but highly focused. He prepares to sacrifice numerous low-grade summons for Ramba's growth. The system registers the Wind Fairy as the selected synthesis target. Without delay, Jinwoo presses confirm to begin the enhancement process. Bright light engulfs Ramba as the system consumes countless materials. A notification appears, confirming the synthesis process has completed successfully. Ramba's level rises to 21 after absorbing massive resources. Jinwoo claps softly, accepting the heavy cost he just paid. The tiny fairy tilts her head, asking if she feels stronger now. Time passes, and the scene shifts toward a corporate management office. Byung-jin works quietly, typing reports with careful precision. His boss hums lightly while reviewing the latest talent updates. The manager decides to focus all attention on Baek Jinwoo. He requests a detailed report on Jinwoo's current activities. Byung-jin explains Jinwoo is still opening endless summoning scrolls. The boss frowns, confused why he continues buying low-grade items. Jinwoo is reportedly spending millions on cheap, low-level scrolls repeatedly. Byung-jin warns the bureau is starting to grow suspicious of this pattern. The boss wonders what purpose these ignored items truly serve. After thinking briefly, he agrees to sell them at half price. Byung-jin panics, shocked by such obvious special treatment. The boss stays calm, telling him there is no need to worry. Deep down, he believes Jinwoo will become Korea's future hero. The examiner is celebrated by his team for the successful evaluation. However, he demands that his staff follow his specific instructions. He has one more crucial detail to share regarding their plan. The examiner insists that this secret remains strictly between them. Under a clear sky, Jinwoo begins his grueling training session. He sits surrounded by a mountain of failed summoning scrolls. Jinwoo vows to continue tearing scrolls until he finds a winner. Suddenly, the sound of approaching footsteps echoes through the park. Jinwoo looks up from his work to see a visitor approaching. Yujia from headquarters greets him with a radiant smile. She arrives to discuss the purchase of new summoning scrolls. Jinwoo is caught off guard by the beautiful woman's sudden appearance. She reveals that they held a meeting regarding his special request. Jia offers him a massive 50% discount on the scrolls. On top of the discount, she has more surprising news. The headquarters will support him with 100 million won. She warns Jinwoo that this generous deal must stay a secret. This support is intended to build a strong bond with him. Having delivered the good news, Ji-ah prepares to take her leave. Jinwoo watches her depart, quietly acknowledging the association's support. He holds a scroll, determined to finally summon an EX rank. The sun sets as Jinwoo continues his endless scroll tearing. His fairy companion collapses from the sheer exhaustion of the task. Tearing thousands of scrolls begins to feel like an endless cycle of deja vu. After obtaining another F rank, Jinwoo realizes he needs a new plan. Jinwoo pulls a rhinoceros beetle, yet another disappointing F rank summon. Spitefully, he summons a horned caterpillar and prays for better results. Desperate for a miracle, he tears into another summoning scroll. Intense golden electricity suddenly erupts from the tattered red paper. Jinwoo recognizes the legendary effect, signaling an incredibly rare summon. The system processes the pull from his low-grade summoning scroll. Miraculously, Jinwoo obtains the EX rank Dragon Mage from the scroll. A powerful sorceress with fiery red hair appears before him. Ramba weeps with joy, celebrating her master's incredible luck. Jinwoo decides to push his luck during this rare moment of momentum. Ramba watches in utter confusion as her master prepares more. He readies another scroll, hoping to find the training instructor. With a determined shout, he rips the next scroll apart. Luck strikes again as he pulls the EX rank training instructor. Overwhelmed by emotion, Jinwoo cries tears of pure relief. A stoic hand rests near a sword as the warrior appears. The dragon mage and training instructor stand together in silence. The confused instructor looks around, wondering where he has arrived. Jinwoo knows the true value of this summon lies in growth. This training maniac is obsessed with pushing summons beyond their limits. He forces every summon to perform thousands of grueling push-ups. His instructor skill unlocks the hidden potential of all allies. Under his guidance, even tiny Ramba transforms into a titan. Jinwoo is thrilled to finally strengthen his entire team. He warmly welcomes Hungyo, knowing he will shape his future strength. Hungyo recognizes the nickname and reacts with visible surprise and shock. Jinwoo casually confirms his legendary identity as God Ji-nu to them. Overwhelmed by the reunion, Hungyo collapses to his knees in relief. Jinwoo notes that both Ramba and Hungyo remain unchanged since then. The loyal knight officially welcomes his lord back with deep respect. Another summon approaches slowly, barely believing her eyes at this moment. The red-haired girl asks if he is truly their missing master. She is the Dragon Mage, an EX rank summon with explosive potential. An ancient dragon's heart makes her a peerless fire attribute damage dealer. Her skills appear mediocre until she unleashes her true hidden power. Her unique predation skill can only be unlocked with Hungyo's assistance. Jinwoo remembers being the only player capable of utilizing her correctly. She beams with pure joy, having missed her lord very much. Jinwoo finds his powerful dragon summon unexpectedly and dangerously cute. He instructs his loyal followers to simply call him Jinwoo now. Exhausted from the day's events, Jinwoo prepares to finally head home. They leave the quiet city streets in search of much-needed rest tonight. The group arrives at a small apartment to settle in for the night. Jinwoo immediately falls into a deep sleep the moment he hits the bed. While their master sleeps, the summons quietly gather to discuss their future. Hungyo and the Dragon Mage reflect on their long period of isolation. The tiny fairy Ramba happily introduces herself to the new arrivals. She proudly claims seniority over the others due to her earlier recruitment. Hungyo dismisses her rank, focusing only on the serious task ahead. He bluntly states that the group is currently far too weak. He emphasizes that they must improve if they want to be useful to him. Jinwoo turns his attention to Pokrong first, catching her off guard. He instructs her to sit down and focus deeply on sensing mana. Next, he fixes a cold and intense glare on Ramba. The small fairy trembles in fear under his piercing gaze. Jinwoo declares that she needs intense strength training immediately. He asks if she truly desires to be of any help to him. Her task is to swing a frying pan 5,000 times. Ramba is completely horrified by the overwhelming number of repetitions. Her hand shakes violently as she calls out Jinwoo's name. She desperately begs for mercy while being dragged away for training. Meanwhile, a different situation unfolds at the association's headquarters. The staff discusses a sudden ban on providing low-grade summoning scrolls. The branch manager learns this order came directly from the director. He is visibly stressed by the sudden change in headquarters policy. They are also demanding a full audit of all scrolls used. The secretary suspects that examiner Im Hee-soo is behind the scheme. The manager curses the man who constantly undermines his decisions. He worries that they will have nothing left to give Jinwoo. Tension rises as he wonders how to handle the growing scroll shortage. Suddenly, his phone vibrates with a new message from Baek Jinwoo. His assistant watches curiously as his expression shifts in an instant. She feels relieved when it becomes clear the scroll supply is no longer an issue. The manager decides it is finally time to settle things with Hae-soo. Jinwoo's message confirms that he has already obtained exactly what he wanted. Jinwoo travels to Gwanak-san Mountain, searching for his next challenge. He arrives at the site and quietly prepares for his mission. A normal dungeon stands before him as he surveys the silent area. He recalls the 4 distinct dungeon types from the Battle of Summoners. The Tower of Trials offers massive rewards, but deadly risks. Meanwhile, the Chaos Dragon Raid demands a full elite team. Jinwoo pushes those thoughts aside, saving them for later. For now, he chooses to enter a standard dungeon alone. These portals appear randomly, without warning across the world. He ignores party recruitment posts flashing on his phone screen. With his summons, he has no need for allies. Jinwoo approaches the restricted zone where the blue gate swirls. Failure to clear it could trigger a catastrophic dungeon break. A guard steps forward, demanding to verify his player license. Jinwoo calmly hands over his identification without hesitation. After checking, the guard nods and grants him entry. Ho! He steps forward, crossing into the unknown dimension. The world shifts instantly as the dungeon consumes him. A heavy pressure fills the air, far different from any game. Suddenly, steel clashes the moment he enters the battlefield. Jinwoo finds himself in the middle of a brutal war. A massive subjugation dungeon unfolds into a full-scale siege. Soldiers rain fire from the walls to hold the line. Hordes of orcs climb upward using ladders in a frenzy. The battlefield feels real, raw, and merciless. Orcs tear through defenses with monstrous physical strength. Wounded soldiers scream desperately for healers. Jinwoo looks down, realizing this is no longer just a game. He takes a slow breath, forcing himself to stay calm. A flash of blue lights signals the arrival of his summons. His EX rank forces materialize, ready for war. System notifications confirm 3 legendary entities deployed. They stand firmly atop the defensive walls. Minikong and Ramba await their master's command. Ramba immediately begins boosting the team's speed. Pokrong channels flames, preparing ranged destruction. Jinwoo raises his hand, pointing directly at the boss. Minikong roars and launches forward without hesitation. The massive ape soars across the battlefield like a missile. A green shockwave erupts the moment he crashes down. Taking down the leader is the only way to win. The orc chieftain lifts its weapon for a deadly strike. Steel and magic collide in a violent explosion. Even the battlefield trembles under the impact. Hungyo steps forward, eyes cold and precise. A flash of emerald light wipes out multiple enemies instantly. Each movement is clean, efficient, and lethal. The orc army begins collapsing under the pressure. Jinwoo watches silently, fully aware of his overwhelming power. A faint smile forms, as victory is already decided. The golden-winged fairy confidently declares that this battle will be easier than expected. A savage beast summon charges forward to crush the remaining enemies. Knights stationed atop the wall watch in awe at their powerful allies. The beast leaps into the fray with a terrifying roar that asserts its dominance. A warm healing light spreads across the battlefield as their HP recovers rapidly. The playful fairy mocks her enemies while effortlessly dodging their desperate attacks. His knight summon expertly deflects an axe aimed directly at his liege. Crimson mana gathers around the staff as a powerful spell begins to activate. The dragon mage prepares to unleash her most devastating fire magic. A massive wave of flames erupts from the radiant golden catalyst. The explosive dragon wave takes shape as a roaring inferno of destruction. Hordes of orcs are instantly incinerated by the blistering heat. The surviving monsters tremble in fear before the overwhelming devastation. A heavy boot stomps down to finish off a fallen enemy. The training instructor delivers a final and decisive strike with his blade. Darkness falls upon the last monster as the battle finally comes to an end. A system notification confirms that the dungeon has been successfully cleared. The summons gather around their master as the fading light settles. The dragon mage gains intelligence as she reaches level 5. The training instructor's critical hit rate increases with his new level. He realizes that the summoning scroll reward is worth a small fortune. The team already feels eager to conquer the next challenging dungeon. A firm grip of his fist shows his resolve to change his fate forever. He vows to turn his life around through an endless grind. Sunlight shines over the city where his legendary journey continues forward. Sunlight shines over the city where his legendary journey continues forward. A concerned colleague questions the examiner's risky and sudden confidence. Tension fills the boardroom as internal rivalries begin to intensify. Im Hee-soo smirks while mocking his rival's management of the budget. Examiner Chung Seok seethes with rage at the blatant disrespect shown. The arrogant examiner insults the lack of talent under his rival's supervision. Hee-soo continues to belittle his accomplishments regarding the latest records. Chung Seok glares intensely while silently cursing the man before him. The arrogant rival remains composed while looking down on his peer. Chung Seok resolves to fight back instead of accepting the insults. Im Hee-soo invites him to settle their dispute with a high-stakes bet. He proposes a contest to determine whose talent will achieve higher ranks. Chung Seok accepts the challenge with a sharp and determined gaze. A massive penalty awaits the one who fails to deliver results. The female assistant worries that Baek Jinwoo is merely a gamer. Chung Seok sighs as he feels the immense pressure of his decision. He remains silent while carefully pondering the future of his career. He boldly declares his unwavering belief in Baek Jinwoo's hidden potential. An assistant suddenly bursts through the door with an urgent report. Everyone in the room is startled by the loud and sudden interruption. The worker reveals that a player is soloing D-rank dungeons with ease. Chung Seok gasps upon hearing that the player is Baek Jinwoo. The secretary struggles to believe the impossible 5-minute clear record. A triumphant smile slowly spreads across the veteran examiner's face. Chung Seok cheers loudly as his gamble on Jinwoo proves completely correct. He praises his own keen eye for talent while celebrating the success. Jinwoo walks forward with a powerful blue aura surrounding his every step. A satisfied smile forms as he completes his grueling dungeon runs. Back at home, he quietly reflects on his progress inside his room. His phone screen displays a bank balance of over 16 million won. Lying down, Jinwoo basks in the thrill of his sudden wealth. He spent 4 exhausting days clearing 160 D-rank dungeons. His summons worked tirelessly, efficiently cutting through endless waves of enemies. Selling intermediate summoning scrolls earned him this incredible pile of cash. He sheds tears of joy as he celebrates the fruits of his labor. Jinwoo immediately begins organizing his earnings into several separate accounts. One specific account is designated to cover his monthly living expenses. He prepares a family account to ensure his loved ones can live comfortably. Going from unemployed to a high earner feels like a beautiful dream. Lastly, he shifts his focus toward a vital player-specific savings account. This dedicated account will be used strictly to enhance his summons. He intends to reinvest every single one back into strengthening his team. While money is helpful, his value as a player matters far more. His team has finally reached the level 30 milestone during training. Now he must grind daily dungeons to obtain high-grade equipment and gems. Jinwoo accesses the player web to check current market equipment prices. His eyes widen in shock as he scrolls through the expensive listings. Average C-rank summons are priced at over 20 million won each. Higher ranks are even more expensive, threatening to drain all his funds. He lets out a sigh, realizing how rare high-tier summoning scrolls truly are. A confident smile appears as he recalls having a perfect backup plan. Reaching for his device, he prepares to make a game-changing move. He explains that this is exactly why he prepared a reliable safety net. Suddenly, an assistant bursts in with urgent news for the examiner. The bearded examiner looks up, wondering what could cause such panic. The assistant reports that player Baek Jinwoo has sent a new request. Overjoyed, the examiner eagerly asks what Jinwoo is requesting this time. He leans closer to carefully inspect the message sent by the player. The screen reveals an extensive list of high-priced summons of various ranks. The sheer scale of the request leaves both men completely speechless. He wonders if headquarters would ever approve such a massive deal. He demands to know what Jinwoo is offering in return for this request. Jinwoo promises to share secret strategies for every daily dungeon time attack. The examiner is stunned that he would offer secrets for the entire dungeon cycle. His assistant confirms that Jinwoo is indeed offering the complete set of strategies. He realizes that Jinwoo is making an incredibly calculated and aggressive deal. Grinning at the opportunity, the examiner decides to push the deal forward. He vows to personally speak with the director to secure approval. Later, he vents his frustration at the stubborn leadership of headquarters. He shouts that their country remains last because of their outdated thinking. A female colleague watches his outburst with a calm and amused expression. The assistant nervously asks what decision the director ultimately made. The director demanded clear proof of a successful run before any payment. The examiner shouts that Jinwoo needs the summons first to prove it. The woman calmly suggests that such jackpot information is worth far more money. She offers to cover the entire cost in exchange for the valuable information. The manager realizes her true identity and begins to sweat profusely. She is Yu-Jia, the fourth granddaughter of the Daesung group. Jia received the most elite Chaebol education within her powerful family. However, her true passion lies in studying players rather than business management. She has become especially fascinated with a talented player named Baek Jinwoo. Jinwoo possesses a mysterious depth of knowledge despite being a new beginner. Jia plans to build a specialized management team solely dedicated to him. This bold investment strategy could lead to massive profits for everyone involved. The manager questions whether such a large investment is truly wise. She playfully mocks the idea of ever running out of money. Jia confidently declares that finances will never be an issue for her. She decides that it is finally time to meet Jinwoo once again. Jia prepares for the meeting while carefully planning her next move. Her sharp gaze reveals that she is fully ready to strike a deal. Jinwoo enters the headquarters and is greeted with overwhelming respect. He reflects on how quickly they acted after receiving his information. Jinwoo arrives at a restaurant that rivals the finest five-star establishments. The staff treats him with the highest level of luxury imaginable. He glances around and notices a woman waiting calmly at the table. Jinwoo immediately recognizes her as the powerful and influential Yu-Jia. He had performed a background check and was stunned by her beauty. Her family connections make her one of the most powerful figures in the country. Jia is widely regarded as a once-in-a-century genius with incredible abilities. She thanks him for coming and begins their high-stakes meeting. She explains that today's discussion is about personal business, not headquarters matters. While they eat, the atmosphere remains serious yet surprisingly calm. Yu-Jia admits that headquarters will no longer provide him with support. Jinwoo continues eating, completely unbothered by the loss of corporate backing. Suddenly, she pauses the meal and presents him with a unique proposal. She gently places a glass of water in front of Jinwoo. Yu-Jia reveals her plan to start a one-man private management agency. Jinwoo is visibly stunned by her bold decision to leave headquarters behind. She explains that a private agency is far less restrictive than headquarters. Her focus is purely on profit, something she is confident she can generate. Yu-Jia needs a partner who can truly value her information and resources. She promises to provide professional support for everything Jinwoo may require. They share a brief, light-hearted moment as the tension softens between them. She suggests visiting a vacant lot tomorrow to finalize their contract. Yu-Jia then reminds him to check the summons he had requested earlier. Jinwoo is shocked to learn she already prepared them without any agreement. She reveals that she began preparations even before hearing his answer. She tells him to accept these efforts as a sincere gesture of goodwill. The scene shifts to a bright path leading toward an open lot. A young girl wonders quietly if her brother will show up today. She feels a sense of sadness since he has not contacted her after moving out. A passing woman suddenly catches her attention with an elegant presence. Yu-Jia walks by with a confident and striking aura. The girl suddenly realizes she has seen that face somewhere before. She quickly finds Yu-Jia's profile online and reacts in total disbelief. She recognizes the legendary hunter and cannot believe her own eyes. Nearby, the intense training session continues under the bright midday sun. An aggressive drill sergeant screams for the summons to push harder. The exhausted summons struggle as they reach their absolute physical limits. The instructor's piercing blue eyes watch every single movement very closely. He suddenly signals for everyone to stay silent as someone approaches. Baek Jinwoo wipes away his sweat as Yu-Jia walks toward him. She greets Jinwoo while his summons hide nervously behind their master. Jinwoo explains that he was just doing some light morning exercise. He sends his hard-working main force back to continue their training. Yu-Jia activates her glowing blue energy to begin the process. A massive holographic screen suddenly materializes right in front of Jinwoo. The system confirms confirms that Yu Jia is officially proposing a trade. Trading rare summons requires extreme caution to avoid losing valuable assets. Scammers often try to swap powerful monsters for useless low-rank creatures. The system warning explains that scamming results in a deadly curse. Yu Jia offers a long list of high-rank summons to Jinwoo. Jinwoo carefully selects the confirm button to finalize the massive deal. Bright blue light swirls around Jinwoo as the trade successfully completes. He clenches his fist and feels the incredible power of new summons. Jinwoo bows deeply to show his gratitude for the generous gift. Yu Jia reaches into her stylish designer bag for something important. She presents official documents to finally get down to serious business. Their new management agency, Yubaek, stands tall as a massive skyscraper. The ownership chart shows Jinwoo holds the majority of the shares. The examiner will remain stationed at headquarters to provide ongoing assistance. Jinwoo recruits Byungjin and Taeseop by offering 3 times their salary. He feels overwhelmed by receiving 70% of the total shares. Yu Jia views this generous investment as placing a bet. She is confident in maximizing the value of her minority stake. Voting rights are secondary to building a strong relationship with Jinwoo. Solidifying their bond is her primary focus for the company now. Jinwoo officially seals the contract with his fingerprint and signature. Jia smiles brightly now that their business agreement is finalized. The two share a handshake to mark their new professional journey. A vigilant guardian notices a strange presence watching from the trees. The warrior spots a suspicious light coming from within the bushes. A sudden flash of movement interrupts their peaceful conversation. The quiet atmosphere is shattered by a loud and startling scream. Jinwoo's summon rushes forward to capture the hidden individual immediately. The knight holds a pink-haired girl upside down after finding her. She dangles helplessly while looking completely confused and dazed. Jinwoo demands to know why she was secretly watching their meeting. The girl kneels on the ground looking messy and disheveled. He asks if she followed Jia because she is a fan. The direct question deals massive damage to her pride and composure. A status screen confirms that Jinwoo is stating the cold facts. She admits he is right, but demands an explanation for himself. The girl aggressively grabs Jinwoo and asks how he knows Jia. She screams in his face while accusing him of using tricks. He says he wanted to meet her family regardless of tricks. Jia falls to her knees in total shock at his words. She demands the truth while throwing a stubborn and noisy tantrum. She uses eye drops to create fake tears for more drama. He begins to reveal the story behind his mysterious gaming past. She identifies him as the legendary gamer who broke every record. He claims he met Jia during frequent visits to the headquarters. She remains skeptical while processing everything he just told her. The girl remembers him playing a specific mobile game for years. He denies it frantically to keep his Gajinu identity hidden. She gets excited that he wasted time on such trash games. She nudges him playfully about his addiction to gaming paying off. She smiles and says her lack of trust was only joking. He remembers the painful time he spent hooked to an IV. His foster family never left his side during his long illness. He resolves to become strong enough to protect his precious family. He asks her to keep his secret from their parents' ears. His summons look completely drained after witnessing the sibling drama. The small red summon shakes violently while being watched closely. A man reaches toward the tiny assassin summon hiding in greenery. A massive, multi-eyed wolf prepares to devour its helpless prey. She searches for information about the rare shadow wolf summon online. The girl browses a mobile shop for rare and powerful items. She taps away on her phone while lost in her thoughts. She expresses confusion over her brother's strange and secret behavior. She questions the exorbitant price of a 500 million won summon. Han Siwoo smiles confidently and tells her to wait a bit. He promises to obtain the expensive summon within a single month. She teases him for acting too cool since becoming a gamer. The young hunter maintains his calm demeanor as he walks away. Siwoo warns her not to cry once he fulfills his promise. She watches him leave, sensing that something about him has changed. Comforting a terrified summon, she notes her brother feels like a stranger. 1 week later, Siwoo prepares to enter a red dungeon portal. Staff members present him with specialized gear for his daily dungeon run. The agency's primary goal is gathering valuable information for their clients. They plan to sell exclusive dungeon clearing footage for a premium price. Clear videos of high-ranking dungeons will generate massive profits for them. This cutting-edge tactical vest is essential for capturing high-quality data. A hidden camera on his chest begins recording his every movement. The advanced equipment records the entire surroundings in a 3D format. Siwoo finds the new elastic vest surprisingly lightweight and comfortable. He dons a pair of sunglasses to finalize his professional appearance. The hunter strikes a pose as the recording phase officially begins. Support staff confirm that all recording preparations are finally complete. Siwoo admits he is nervous about entering his first Monday dungeon. He stops briefly to thank the team for their dedicated assistance. He casually asks if breaking the national record is acceptable today. The sudden question leaves the female staff member completely speechless. She encourages him to relax and fight like a true gamer. He steps through the glowing red portal to start the trial. The Monday dungeon record stands at 7 minutes. He plans to break the current national record with a confident smile. The hero ventures deep into the dark and foggy battlefield. A broken sword reward lies discarded inside the legendary Monday dungeon. This dungeon is famous for dropping rare attack-related runes. Attack runes are essential for mastering the world of BOS. He must defend against waves of undead for 30 minutes. A massive legion of skeletons emerges from the dark shadows. Global leaderboards show clear time is the ultimate priority. Defeating the powerful Lich boss will end the defense mission early. He confirms his specialized gear is functioning perfectly for the fight. A glowing blue screen displays his strategic summoning options. Players can preset 3 different specialized combat teams. He selects Team C to handle the incoming horde. His powerful EX rank training instructor leads the elite group. Support summons like the Golden Fairy join the frontline battle. The Evil Lich commands his undead army to swarm the area. The defense timer begins as his summons take their positions. With 30 minutes remaining, the fierce engagement officially starts. The undead legion rushes forward with terrifying and mindless aggression. Mini Kong lets out a thunderous roar to intimidate the skeletons. The beast uses his massive strength to crush a skeleton flat. He swings the remaining bone fragments with brutal and efficient force. Another skeleton head shatters instantly under the creature's heavy blow. The master rallies his team to begin their final counterattack. A massive, cloaked lich commands a terrifying sea of monsters. The party stands firm against the endless waves of skeletons. He strategically orders the knight to execute a flanking maneuver. The stoic warrior agrees to secure the necessary high ground. They advance steadily through the chaos of the shifting battlefield. A countdown timer ticks away while enemies swarm from all sides. Every passing second is vital during this intense and desperate struggle. The cleric braces for impact as skeletons lunge toward him. His knight's sharp blade cleaves a skull with incredible precision. Massive beastly hands crush the life out of a skeletal foe. The giant creature lets out a thunderous roar of pure dominance. Mini Kong delivers a crushing blow from the air above them. The master watches with satisfaction as his summons control the field. He refocuses his sights on the primary boss hovering nearby. The combat sheriff prepares his rifle for a long-distance execution. This legendary marksman possesses incredible accuracy despite his past reputation. Previous attempts at combat often resulted in humorous and weak results. Against low-health targets, the sheriff acts as a surprisingly efficient killer. The commander signals for his marksman to hold his fire briefly. Radiance prepares to unleash a powerful and glowing holy blessing. Divine energy surges into the rifle to maximize its lethal potential. This holy light completely strips away the boss's dark defensive shield. A confident smirk crosses his face as the perfect opening appears. With the order finally given, the sniper targets the vulnerable boss. Hungyo stares down the enemy with a gaze of absolute focus. The massive gorilla summon leaps high to crush the skeletal remains. A thunderous shockwave erupts as the beast slams into the earth. The gorilla stands tall, while the sniper maintains a steady aim. Magical energy gathers in his palms, preparing a powerful support spell. A divine fairy appears to grant the summoner's renewed strength. The sniper pulls the trigger, unleashing a devastating armor-piercing round. The summoner watches nervously as the battle reaches a critical point. Pathetic damage numbers pop up as projectiles hit the cloaked lich. Tiny snipers fire a relentless barrage of bullets at the enemy. The boss seems unfazed by the constant clinking of small rounds. Despite the low damage, the boss's health begins to steadily dwindle. With the timer ticking down, the summoner carefully monitors the lich's health. Glowing healing runes surround the beast, restoring its fighting spirit. Suddenly, a skeletal assassin lunges through the air at the gorilla. The summon is pinned down by the relentless, undead attacker's strength. The skeleton roars with a terrifying display of its jagged teeth. The master remains calm, knowing his next move will end this. He steps forward with confidence, ready to activate his hidden trump card. Hungyo parries the skeleton's lethal strike with his sharp blade. The master prepares to unlock the swordsman's true hidden potential. A powerful energy slash cuts through the darkness of the dungeon. An EX-grade bullet streaks across the field toward the top-tier lich. The projectile impacts the boss with the force of a supernova. The massive lich towers over the army, awaiting the final blow. The massive lich towers over the army, awaiting the final blow. Suddenly, the system announces a lightning-fast dungeon clear time. Jinwoo's diverse summons stand proudly atop the defeated boss's remains. A national record is shattered, marking a monumental achievement for Jinwoo. Guild employees monitor the rankings as the Monday dungeon resets. The manager reminds her team to support their rising star regardless. Her assistant expresses skepticism about Jinwoo's ambitious daily dungeon goals. They wonder if Baked Jinwoo can truly conquer every single record. Doubts linger about his strategy for clearing the more difficult trials. The current top ranking belongs to a player named Kang Gyeon-ho. Sensing his unease, the manager questions if he is truly worried. The assistant remains speechless while contemplating the impossible task ahead. She remains confident, reminding them her own fortune is at stake. The employees realize their boss has absolute faith in Jinwoo's potential. She radiates a commanding aura while promising to protect their careers. Stunned by her generosity, the assistants can hardly believe their ears. They celebrate their dream job while she stays focused on success. Her sharp eyes reveal a deep interest in Jinwoo's mysterious powers. Jinwoo possesses secrets that even his closest allies cannot yet fathom. He enters the next dungeon with a casual and fearless attitude. A golden key symbolizes his mastery over the dungeon's hidden mechanics. Startled staff announce that the Monday record has already been broken. The energy doors flare as a new historical clear is registered. Control room operators scramble to find the identity of the player. Fake Jinwoo's face appears, cementing his status as a legendary rookie. Spectators gape at the screen showing Jinwoo shattered the previous record. Observers cannot believe how quickly the legendary rookie climbed the ranks. The association executive trembles with excitement over her newfound business success. She clenches her fist, certain that Jinwoo will bring her immense fortune. A confident smirk spreads across her face as she anticipates massive profits. She stands tall, knowing she hit the ultimate jackpot with him. Jinwoo surveys the horizon with his loyal team at his side. A dark portal swirls open, beckoning him toward his next challenge. Before logging off, Jinwoo decides to set up one final task. He activates a special function on his gear with a single click. A glowing interface appears as he prepares for a long grind. He initiates the auto-battle system to keep his team working tirelessly. The daily dungeon allows his summons to battle endlessly on a loop. Ramba cheers as high-tier rewards begin stacking up for their master. Jinwoo taps the screen to confirm the automated training instructions. He prepares to delegate tasks while his summons stand ready. The EX rank Wind Fairy manifests to assist with the scheduled labor. Jinwoo assigns Ramba to take over the repetitive Monday dungeon grind. The small fairy wonders why Hungyo is not handling the training. Traumatic memories of Hungyo's brutal training sessions flood Ramba's mind. Nightmarish images of intense drills flash rapidly through the fairy's thoughts. She recalls the absolute terror of being pushed far beyond her limits. Ramba stands frozen in fear, terrified of returning to that regime. Jinwoo coordinates his team to maximize efficiency through the auto battle system. He smirks, proud of creating a perfectly optimized loop for rapid growth. He calls upon Ramba while stepping through a portal with total confidence. The summoner maintains focus as the dimensional gateway pulsates with power. Returning to base, his allies greet him with warmth and respect. He secures the recording device hidden within a standard issue jacket. Grateful workers bow as he hands over the highly valuable footage. Yubaek promises to keep his incredible dungeon feats out of the news. He surprises her by allowing the world record to become public. His only priority is the safety and protection of his family. Entrusting his security to Yubaek allows him to focus purely on leveling. She vows to protect them, no matter the cost or effort required. He enters a massive arena to test his latest summon combinations. The spotted Komodo swallows enemies whole with terrifyingly efficient speed. A clear time of 3 minutes leaves the summoner feeling quite satisfied. Breaking world records becomes a simple matter of using optimal builds. Speed runes and movement buffs make his summons impossibly fast hunters. He activates the hidden camera to begin documenting his next conquest. Tuesday's efficient dungeon run ends with a flawlessly executed final portal. The Wednesday dungeon presents a brutal landscape of ice and snow. Every step into the frozen wasteland is a battle against nature itself. Extreme temperatures threaten to freeze his very soul within seconds. Shivering uncontrollably, he quickly selects the perfect counters for this harsh environment. The Frost Cat and Wind Falcon appear to combat the freezing chill. A Titanium Golem and Dragon Mage join the ranks to reinforce defense. His feline summon radiates a warmth that completely nullifies the biting cold. Finally comfortable, he prepares to dominate yet another impossible dungeon floor. He scans the frozen wasteland, sensing faint movement stirring in the distance. A horde of vicious Yeti monsters suddenly bursts forward, charging through the thick snow. Without hesitation, he summons the Titanium Golem to serve as an indestructible shield. The massive stone giant roars fiercely as its defensive power activates. He quickly calls upon a Wind Falcon to boost the team's speed. The tiny blue bird lands lightly on the Golem's immense shoulder. Everyone climbs onto the Golem's palm, bracing for the rapid journey ahead. They surge across the mountain at a blistering, almost uncontrollable pace. The overwhelming speed begins to churn violently in his stomach. Both companions struggle to endure the intense nausea caused by the chaotic ride. Meanwhile, aggressive monsters continue chasing them through the freezing mountain air. The Golem ignores the lesser threats and relentlessly pushes forward. He realizes the Golem is the perfect tank for this brutal terrain. Suddenly, a steep cliff rises ahead, blocking their direct path to the summit. With immense force, the Golem smashes its fist into the frozen rock. Using sheer strength, it climbs the vertical surface with shocking ease. He grips tightly, holding on as they scale the sheer mountain face. His companion stares in disbelief, stunned by the overwhelming spectacle. The Golem's heavy fist anchors them firmly onto a narrow, snowy ledge. In one powerful motion, they launch into the air toward the distant source of light. A red warning screen flashes, signaling the arrival of the floor boss. The massive beast unleashes a deafening roar that echoes across the mountain. Without delay, he calls for the horned fairy to provide magical support. The elegant fairy descends gracefully, ready to assist in the looming battle. The final monster stands its ground, guarding its icy kingdom with pride. Jinwoo shouts firmly, commanding Pokryong to unleash her devastating power. The girl summon ignites, her body radiating an intense, blinding fire. A colossal dragon of pure flame erupts into existence with a thunderous roar. The blazing beast crashes into the Yeti boss with overwhelming force. A wave of searing heat instantly engulfs the guardian of the mountain. A system notification appears, confirming the boss has been cleared. Jinwoo lets out a triumphant shout, celebrating their overwhelming victory. The team regroups as Jinwoo calmly reviews the successful mission. He realizes they have shattered yet another incredible speed record. However, the thrill of victory quickly gives way to severe motion sickness. News of the new national record begins spreading rapidly across the web. Soon, people on the street start recognizing Baek Jinwoo's name. Curious citizens begin wondering if he is the same mysterious player from before. Jinwoo's explosive rise to fame quickly turns him into the talk of the town. Students excitedly discuss how he effortlessly crushed Kang Jianho's legendary record. Shocked onlookers struggle to believe that a rookie could be this fast. Online articles describe his sudden emergence as brilliant and unstoppable, like a comet. His consecutive time attack records leave the entire nation in awe. Now, all eyes are fixed on the mysterious player known as Baek Jinwoo. A powerful official slams his hand down, unable to hide his disbelief. He recalls hearing about Baek Jinwoo in a past examination report. The young man once offered valuable information in exchange for more summons. He remembers how the association dismissed that bold proposal without hesitation. Now, it becomes painfully clear that every one of the boy's claims was true. A cold sweat forms as he realizes Jinwoo's immense and terrifying hidden talent.